Oh, yeah. What up? Welcome back. Happy New Year. Blah, blah, blah. Got a couple quick announcements and then I'm out of here, but I'll be back. Check it. First one, big announcement, really, really important. If you enjoyed Propaganda by the Seed, the podcast work that me and Aaron Parker from Edgewood Nursery has been doing over the last year, go over to Libsyn and subscribe to our new feed. Propaganda by the Seed is now its own thing. It's going to be its own platform, its own podcast. We're going to continue to do it. We're going all in on it. And it's going to be really exciting. First episode of Season 2 is with Ben Falk, author of The Resilient Homestead. We just dropped that today, so if you want to hear it, go over and check it out. I don't know if you know who Ben Falk is. He wrote the book The Resilient Homestead. Huge influence on me. And in this episode, we mostly talk about sea berries. Sea berries are a kind of plant he promotes a lot because they're like the highest in vitamin C and antioxidants and a bunch of minerals and vitamins that aren't in other fruits that grows up here at this whatever latitude. So yeah, if you want to listen to that podcast, listen to Ben and subscribe to Season 2 of Propaganda by the Seed. You can go over to our feed. You can Google it. Go on iTunes. propagandabytheseed.libsyn.com. You can go to propagandabytheseed.com. And we got a Patreon too. Originally, this was just a little fun side thing we did with the Solecast. Just me and Aaron talking shit. And then over the course of a few months through the year, it evolved into its own thing and kind of has its own momentum now. So we thought for this year, we're going to build it out to be its own separate platform because honestly, like, there's a lot of people who are into this stuff. We've gotten so much great feedback about Propaganda by the Seed that we wanted to make it its own thing because, you know, not everybody who's into all the crazy theory and hip-hop weird shit that I'm into is into that stuff and vice versa. So it made sense to split these things. So again, if you want to support that project, you can go to patreon.com/Propaganda by the Seed, or you can go over to Libsyn, LIBSYN.com, and look up Propaganda by the Seed. So it's very exciting. It's like, you know, when I first met Aaron, I was like, man, you gotta do a YouTube series on like all these plants because people don't really know about how to grow these plants and da-da-da-da-da. And, you know, I kept harassing him about it. And then finally, like a couple of years later, we've got our own podcast doing it. And it's amazing. And the other thing I'll say about that is if you sign up for the Patreon, Edgewood Nursery is throwing in bonus seeds to everybody who signs up. So, you know, holla, fuck with us. We're gonna be doing some cool shit. And yeah, and then for those people who've been listening to the Solecast all these years, I'm also changing that project. The Solecast will now be the Institute for Post-American Studies. You know, and the Institute is basically, you know, where the Solecast has been headed all along. You know, I was raised on some fucking apocalypse shit, and lo and behold, here we are in the midst of this fracturing, collapsing world where the people in power will continue to do the bare minimum while the rest of us scurry like rats on their sinking ship. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to ask for shit from people like that, and I certainly want off their fucking boat. So the Institute is basically, you know, it's some anarchist shit, but, you know, looking at things from a, you know, thinking about land projects, thinking about building autonomy. How do we do it? What does it mean? How do we not get caught in the same activist traps? And also theory. Like, people hate on theory, but theory's fucking important. Like, without understanding some of this shit, we're bound to repeat the same mistakes. And for me, it's not about like poring over the history books and pretending to like some big word bullshit that doesn't move me, but to look at who's producing great ideas. Let's talk to those people. Let's draw it out. Sometimes, like, I don't know how it is for you, but for me, like, I can read a book and, only a tiny bit of it, like, clicks. But it's like that shit rattles around in my head for years and then comes out. So that's what I want to do with the Institute, is rattle ideas around, see what pops, not get caught. And, it's been really fun doing these projects. In many ways, it's like the most rewarding work I've done in the past decade. And I'm just really grateful to all the people who have supported these projects and listened and given me feedback and, gotten shit out of it. Like, I certainly have. And it's just been fun to do. And I've learned so much shit. And changing the name of the Solecast to the Institute for Post-American Studies is also like shifting this shit away from the world of independent hip-hop that I come from. I don't want this to appear as like some rapper's vanity project. I'm not trying to be anarcho Joe Rogan or some radio personality. I don't give a shit about that. That's never been the point of this project. The point of this project has been to shine light on great ideas. And that's what I'm going to keep doing. So let's build autonomy. Let's spread anarchy. Let's create the material things that we need to survive in the world. The food, heat, shelter. All these things we can do, all those institutions, all that infrastructure, all the things that we really need, we don't need the state for. And that's important. It's important to note that, and it's important to act from there. So that's where we're going. Thanks for listening. See you soon.